Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this globalized world, anything that happens in one part of the world, it affects the rest of the world as well, especially the surrounding region, especially the neighbors get involved, and especially once let's say the lines are drawn and the sides are taken, then you have your enemies as well as allies either in against you or in favor of you, of course. So in such situation wherein we know that the Pahalgam terrorist attack had taken place, subsequent to which India had responded against Pakistan, after which there are countries who are taking sides. So here we have China, which is coming to Pakistan's help in such a situation and saying that Chinese will always come to Pakistanis' help. So let us see what this statement is all about. What does this mean for India, and does India also have friends? Let us have a look. So first things first, what is the news? So we have one Mr. Victor Gao, who is a strategic analyst, right? He is a top analyst for China and a former diplomat as well. So what does he have to say? He's saying that China will stand by Pakistan if attacked, says the top Chinese analyst Victor Gao. So if attacked, why he's talking about the attack? See, after the terrorist attack that had happened in Pahalgam, India has responded by stopping the water via the Indus water, so let's say stopping the Indus water treaty. India has also downgraded or sent back the diplomats, downgraded the relations which is there. It had sent back the Pakistani diplomats. It has also revoked the visas for Pakistanis. All these things has happened and India is also being prepared for a warlike situation. Now, in this scenario, Mr. Gao is saying that if Pakistan is attacked, China will stand by Pakistan. So he has clearly taken the side. Now, this does not come as an official statement of China, but we have known that China has sided with Pakistan. The China-Pakistan economic corridor, which passes through the Pakistani occupied Kashmir, is being made by China. So all these things we have already clearly seen. At the same time, the similar kind of tones are coming from China as well. Now, why is China actually wanting to side? So he also gives reasons for that. The very first reason, he says that China and Pakistan are all-weather friend. Not just that, he also talks about China and Pakistan having mutual interests. So what is the mutual interest? One mutual interest you can talk about is CPEC. The other mutual interest you can indirectly talk about is standing against India. India is wanting to become the next superpower, and actually Chinese may say that they are siding with Pakistan, they are the allies. They are basically using Pakistan to balance the power of India. So India being the next superpower, generally what USA and China does is India's power, they try to counter it or balance it by siding with Pakistan. It has been done by USA as well. So even though presently, you will see later on in the slide that presently USA is supporting India on this, at least verbally. Why? Because it's a terrorist attack and USA have to keep an image wherein it does not support terrorism, as a result of which the state, the USA and the state representative are coming ahead and siding with India, at least verbally. But in a warlike situation, we may not know whether USA actually sides with India even then or not, because USA has been uncertain. So we'll see who our all-weather friend can be. So presently, China has made a statement, not China, but the representative, the ex-diplomat, has made a statement that China will stand by Pakistan. Now, this is because they are all-weather friend. They have long-standing political trust and mutual interest. Mutual interest is basically economic interest. If you talk about long-standing political trust, so that long-standing political trust comes with respect to the various votings that happens in United Nations and United Nations Security Council. You will generally see that Pakistan, who is not a UNSC member, but it is still a United Nations member, so it votes in the same manner as the UNSC member China will vote. So China sides with Pakistan on international matters. So when the matter gets internationalized, and UNSC, who are UNSC members? There are 5 UNSC members. China is one of them, the other being Russia, USA, France and Britain. So Pakistan has always had China on its side on the UNSC bench as well. So UNSC has a veto power. Veto power means any decision by the United Nations Security Council needs to be taken by a full majority of all 5 people of all 5 countries. Even if one says no, it can be vetoed and it will not go ahead. So China has always sided with Pakistan. Moving ahead, the present situation with respect, so this was an interview that was going on. So with respect to the present situation, he was also asked that what you have to say with respect to what has happened in Pahalgam, the terrorist attack that has happened in Pahalgam. So what should be the response? What should be done about that? So he then denies or does not talk about any, let's say, reaction or reactionary action to be taken by India, but simply calms it down and simply says that Beijing always supports in full-fledged investigation. So he is talking merely about the investigation, and he also says that they are siding by Islamabad's call for transparent and impartial investigation. Right? So he's talking about the diplomatic channel, the legal way about it, and calming it down with respect to what should be done in such a situation. Of course, if the thing were similarly happen in Pakistan, the response would be completely different. But just because it has happened in India, the response is very toned down response by him. Moving ahead, now what does this mean for India? So one thing is clear for India, there is a heightened strategic pressure which has been applied. And if this statement further gets the government of China's backing, then it is going to put a heightened strategic pressure on India. Will that sway us to not take any action? I believe not. We have a dehyphenation policy. What we do with one nation has nothing to do with what relation we should have with China. And it is a matter between India and Pakistan. So probably China should not be intervening here, because we are not in direct conflict with China with respect to this particular issue. We are simply in direct conflict with Pakistan, because Pakistan consists of state-sponsored terrorism. It consists of terrorist organization whose genesis is in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Kashmir, wherein people are brainwashed, and such terrorist organizations are facilitated by the government of Pakistan, as a result of which we have a direct conflict with Pakistan, not with China. So even though, yes, there will be strategic pressure, but again, India will also stand its own ground, because it's a matter of national security, the lives of the people, and the terrorist attack that has happened. The second thing is strengthening of China-Pakistan axis, which is clearly seen over here. So here, at least in the matter of terrorist attack, Chinese diplomats, ex-diplomats could have hold a back seat, but no, they are going ahead and making such statement, and no one is let's say denying the support to such statement as well. They are freely making such statements even after a terrorist attack like that happened in Pahalgam. Moving ahead, the third point is about the reduced strategic space for India in South Asia. Why is that the case? Because if you talk about any organization, any grouping which is there in South Asia, China is generally a part of it and plays an important role. So the space for India to maneuver in South Asia reduces. So we now would want to see maybe support from elsewhere. So we'll see who can support us. And then the diplomatic complications it will also bring. Now India wants to sort of narrow down the support of Pakistan, squeeze it out at the international forum, diplomatically squeeze it out. But now such big countries, a country who's a member of United Nations Security Council, if sides by Pakistan, it will make it even more difficult for India to squeeze out Pakistan at the international forum. And the last thing that what it means for India is that India now needs to strengthen. Why does India need to strengthen? Simply because the support is coming. Now not just China, even Bangladesh is talking about supporting Pakistan and taking help of China. So we can have 3 countries coming together against India. One is, of course, here we are talking about Pakistan and China, and the third one is Bangladesh. So combined, we can see a multifaceted, multi-pronged and a multi-region, let's say, war-like situation in front of India. So multi-front, India could be required to fight war on multiple fronts. On one side, Pakistan, the other China, and the third you have Bangladesh and the combined forces. So this is a difficult situation for India. So does India have any friends to look forward to as it did in the past? Yes, it does. But we cannot rely much on that. Let's discuss in detail. So who is supporting India? The number one support comes from Vladimir Putin, means Russia. So Vladimir Putin has been very explicit, and he has said that the perpetrators need to be brought to justice, and this needs to be, let's say, justice needs to be done over here, and perpetrators being brought to justice, there can be various interpretations for that. One can be the legal interpretation, which China is talking about, an investigation. But here, as we know that Russia is India's all-weather friend, we can say that he may support the actions that India takes to bring down the terrorist organizations or the terrorists who are involved in this. So there is a clear-cut support from here. Now there to an extent is support from USA as well, wherein USA State Department spokesperson has condemned the attack and said that United States stands with India, strongly condemns all acts of terrorism. However, this is just a very generic statement showing empathy towards India, and of course empathy towards the victims and condemning the attack. So in case of need, can we rely on USA to help us? Probably not. Can we rely on Russia to help us? Probably yes. But in the dynamics of the present international relations and the dynamics of the world, and so many interests are stuck of each country in the other country, the best way forward is to move ahead with our own strengthening of our military bases, of our preparedness, etc. And self-help is probably the best help over here. Thank you.